All right, man. Let me plug the joint. Does Paul Pierce really think men can't live with women in peace? Again, let me plug the joint. Does Paul Pierce really believe that men can't live with women in peace? Now, just to provide some clarity to some of you individuals, men and women alike, if you don't know who Paul Pierce is, obviously you can Google him. Right, he's a former NBA star. Used to play for the Boston Celtics back in the day. Right now, let's get back to this though. So, I found this clip. Right, I came across this clip rather with him basically talking about how a woman really can't bring a man peace if they live together. How he doesn't think that's possible, but also he touches a little bit on the emotional manipulation aspect of it. Right, kind of talks about that a little bit, right? And I'm not here to agree or disagree with him. What I'm really here to do is watch this clip with you guys and provide my commentary and just broaden your perspective as far as how you guys go about selecting women to deal with beyond just sex. But also, if you're talking about venturing into a more serious relationship, specifically if you're going to end up cohabitating, right, you need to understand what's up, right? And it behooves you, right? It behooves you to always be dealing with a woman on your terms. So if and when you make that decision to cohabitate with a woman, whether you're married or not, right? Things are going exactly how you want them to go, right? Because when you deal with women on their terms, you will never have peace. Let me say that again. Let me say that again. When you deal with women on the woman's terms, right? You will never have peace. And the reason why you will never have peace, excuse me, the reason why you will never have peace is because your positive energy that you want to feel is predicated on you trying to service her emotions, right? Because you're dealing with her on her terms, which means you're following her lead, which means whatever she is prompting you to do, right? Whenever she's giving you cues to move a certain way, right? You're following behind that, right? So the minute you don't meet her expectations, there's no peace in your home. And you set it up that way, right? But let's go ahead and get into this clip again. Does Paul Pierce really think men can't live with women in peace? Also, like, share, and excuse me, like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe. Right. Also, underneath this video, like my other videos and also the live streams, right, in the description, there's links for consultations, there's links for merchandise, right? So come through, come fuck with your boy. But let's get into it.
Because I like my peace, first of all.
What if a woman brings you that?
There's no such thing as that.
You don't think there's no such thing as a woman bringing
There's
man
no
peace?
such thing as somebody living with you on a day-to-day basis is bringing peace. There's always going to be something, because you're going to have a bad day where I'll have a good day, and that's not going to be peaceful for me. I'm going to come home like, damn, baby, like I had a good... Something going to happen to where you going to hijack my emotions. So that's not peaceful. You feel me? Peace is peace. And peace is me by myself. I come home, I watch TV, I make my own food, I go to bed, I work out, I wake up at 5:30, I roll over in the bed, I lean this way, I fart, whatever I do, whatever, in my bed, that's peace. I'm cool. I can let loud snore, whatever. I ain't got nobody complaining about nothing.
So here's the thing, right? Right. It's in the nature of a woman to complain just a little, right? Just a little. However, though, a woman's complaining can never reach the proportion of it being disruptive, right? And as a man, you have to always be able to redirect that energy, right? And also, shut that shit down if it's not productive, and if it doesn't serve the relationship. Right. And this is what guys got to understand. If women are complaining about shit and it doesn't serve the relationship, fuck what she talking about. If it doesn't serve the relationship, what she got to say really ain't too much. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look, if you are a righteous individual, if you are a solid dude, right, you're not out here deceiving women, you're not out here manipulating women, you're very authentic, very assertive, and very transparent with who you are and what the fuck you're about, there's no reason for women to complain, right? The reason why women really complain, right, is because there's inconsistencies in your behaviors. So a lot of times what guys got to understand, you're the one bringing about a disruption in peace in your own home, right? Because of the way that you're moving, right? It makes no sense, right? So, I'll put it this way: if you're dealing with a woman, right, and you're not on an up and up, right? You're not on an up and up. Eventually, that shit is gonna come to light. And if y'all happen to be living together, when it comes to light, bro, it's a powder keg in your crib, right? But that's on you for not making sure out the gate that you were straight up with this chick, right? And you set her expectations as far as what it's gonna be like to deal with you. But guys, I'm here to tell you that starts in the beginning stages of when you first make the introduction, right? That's when it begins. Because if it ever gets to the point that you elevate this woman to such a stature in your life where you guys are cohabitating, you need to have laid the foundation for how things are going to be, right? When you have a shaky foundation, when you have a shaky foundation, bro, you always gonna have problems in your relationships. And again, that comes as a result of you dealing with women on a woman's terms. Now, let me say this, because he talks about women hijacking men's emotions, and yes, they do, if you let them. So, examples of a woman hijacking your emotions: gaslighting, love bombing, silent treatment, shifting goalposts, playing the victim, emotional blackmail, um, right? So let me explain by emotional blackmail. Okay, let me explain what that means. Okay, this is why you don't vent to women. This is why you don't vent to women, right? This is primarily right here what I'm about to discuss with you guys. This is why you don't vent to women. So, what emotional blackmail may or could look like is you shared some of your deepest, darkest secrets with women, right? Right, some of your insecurities, right? If you got low self-esteem issues, you maybe have shared that, right? Right. So what happens is the more you share with women, right, the more you're quote unquote vulnerable about certain more, excuse me, the more you're quote unquote vulnerable about certain things, you reveal a lot of things about yourself. Like the fact that maybe you despise the feeling of being lonely. You always feel like you need somebody. What people don't understand is once people figure that out about you, if they have any type of deceptive or manipulative nature to them, they will exploit you. If it's beneficial for them to do so, they will exploit it. So an example, like if you're complaining to your chick or whatever woman you're dealing with before she becomes your chick, if you're complaining to her about um women leaving you and you feeling a sense of despair behind that, and you always feel like women do you dirty and do you wrong, well, she's gonna know, oh, he's craving affection. He's craving a sense of loyalty, right? He's craving certain things. So if you're dealing with a woman who out the gate has a deceptive nature to her, and you're dealing with her on her terms, well, number one, she can start out with the love bombing shit, with the affection, telling you things you want to hear to stroke your ego, right? Right. Then the emotional blackmail comes later on during a relationship when maybe you begin to wake up a little bit and you begin to realize, man, this shit really ain't for me. So you begin to finally stand up for yourself. That's where the emotional blackmail comes in at. That's where a woman will use your fears and your anxieties against you, right? This is where an ultimatum might come in. Well, I'm just going to leave you. And your worst fear is to be lonely. I'm just going to leave you lonely, right? I'm just going to leave you all by yourself because apparently you don't appreciate me being here, right? All I ever tried to do was love you, right? A woman might talk to you like that, right? That's that hijacking your emotions, right? Right. So, and again, guys, you cannot allow a woman's mood to impact your mood. So even in his discussion about living a woman living with you or you guys cohabitating, he's saying there's no peace in my home. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. You control that. Women have nothing to do with whether or not there's peace in your home, right? To me, one of the most harmful things on the internet are guys talking about a woman being a man's peace, or war peace is where he settles. And my thing is, you dumbass, you create that for yourself. You do not need a woman to bring you a goddamn thing but a listening ear and a willingness to follow instructions. That's all you need a woman to bring to you is a listening ear and a willingness to follow instructions. The mere fact that she's following instructions already sets the foundation for me having a peaceful relationship because she knows how to listen. You guys that don't have peace in your relationships is because you're dealing with a mouthy chick, a chick who doesn't respect your boundaries, a chick who never showed you deference. What's deference? For those of you who are new here, I'm glad you asked. Hold on. Humble submission and respect. Humble submission and respect. You don't make a woman your girl unless she shows you consistently over an extended period of time with no disruption and consistency that she brings deference to your situation. Humble submission and respect. Don't make her your girl until you see this over an extended period of time consistently. So, guys, it's not about a woman bringing peace to your life. It's about you establishing those boundaries and parameters, right, for yourself. Right? You already established peace in your home, peace in your kingdom, peace in your domain, peace in your world. That's already established. All the woman has to do is come in, accept the fact that you're going to provide guidance, and she needs to understand you need to assimilate, not be a disruption. Because if you don't assimilate and you're a disruption, that means you are intruding on my peace. I got to get rid of you. I got to get rid of you. How did a woman even become your girl if she's disruptive to your peace? How does she even become to cohabitate with you or become your wife if she's a disruption to your peace? Does Paul Pierce really think men can't live with women in peace? Let me say this in closing. For me personally, if you get with a woman under false pretenses, okay, listen to what I'm telling you. If you get with a woman under false pretenses, meaning you're pretending to be sexually monogamous, but you're really not, right? So we can look at it that way, that he's talking about peace, like I want to be able to fuck in peace, right? And you can fuck in peace. You just let the chick know she ain't the only one and you can fuck in peace. Now, when you talk about cohabitating, now you look at the situation, well, if I'm gonna be dealing with other chicks, can I have them in our crib? Can I have them in our bed? Well, most women might not go for that, right? But it's not about what women will go for. It's about you don't want to bring shit into your domain that creates a disruption in your peace that you set for yourself. Now, if you're talking about, threesomes and things of that nature where your woman is participating, that's entirely different. That's entirely different, right? But guys, any type of relationship you want, you're the architect. You can set that up. You just have to make the moves necessary to be consistent with that so the woman buys in. Does Paul Pierce really think men can't live with women in peace? Now, let me say this. Y'all know, for those of you who fuck with me, right? Y'all already know, right? I've had 4 serious relationships in my adult life. All 4 chicks I cohabitated with. All 4 of them. And I'm here to tell you, never again. Now, my thing is this, right? And I had to come to terms with myself. And I had to realize that as much as I've loved these women I've dealt with, and as much as I love spending time with them, when I spent time with them, I love me more. I love spending time with myself more than I love spending time with a woman. I really do. I would literally turn down an opportunity to fuck because I would rather be by myself. I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting at the crib, lounging, chilling. Chick is hitting me up, you know what I'm saying, want to come through or want me to go through there and beat it up. And I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm chilling. I don't feel like moving. I'm chilling. Right. And what I also realized is that even when I was cohabitating with women, I like being by myself a lot. Right. I love being by myself. You know, I'd be like, man, if this chick don't leave the crib, I'm about to leave. I love being by myself. Now, don't get me wrong. It doesn't mean I didn't enjoy my time with these women. I just realized that for me personally, I operate better if I'm dating a chick seriously when we live apart. I just operate better. I love my space, right? And that's all it is. And you can love your space, guys, and you can deal with women. Now, don't get caught up with a woman feeling like, or you feeling like you got to cohabitate with a woman to make the relationship more of a committed situation. Nah, no. Never allow women to have you making decisions that go outside of the vision you have for yourself. Guys, you incorporate women into your life. You don't make life alterations to make room for women. You incorporate women in the things that are going on already, right? You don't make adjustments. If anybody's going to be adjusting, it needs to be her. I'm out. Peace.